Welcome to Well Crafted Studio. I'm here to help you live inspired and create with purpose. So let's get started. So today's tutorial is one that I'm super excited to share with you because it is engraving on stainless steel. Yep, we're going to learn how to engrave on stainless steel. Stainless steel is a much harder surface than silver plate, and in my last video I showed how to engrave on silver plate. And it's fun vintage tool like material to have. However, stainless steel is kind of where it's at. You can buy stainless steel now. It's not a vintage only product. So when I was trying to design a project, the thing that kept coming to mind was, wouldn't it be cool to have a stainless steel pie server that I could show you guys? Because what would happen is that you would be able to give that as a hostess gift. You'd be able to give it as a wedding gift, a housewarming gift. You know, there's all kinds of reasons to make them and give them. So it's one of those things that is just like, yes, if I can show you how to do this, it would be so fun. So today we have how to engrave a stainless steel pie server, because I did figure it out and it really wasn't that hard. However, there are a few different things that kind of came up along the way, and some of those I had already addressed in my silver when I was trying to learn how to do the silver spoons. So I'm going to show you guys what to do for that, but there are a few different tweaks and tricks that I found that really make the pie server a little bit unique, and so there's some few different steps that are going to be a little bit different. So I'm in Cricut Design Space and I've got the upload button on the side. I'm going to click on that. And that's going to take me to this uploaded images page. So I'm going to go ahead and upload my image and then browse. And there's my pumpkin PNG. Because this is a PNG file and not an SVG file, it's not ready to cut yet. So what we're going to do is process it as an image type. We're telling Cricut that it's moderately complex because it has lots of little lines. Here it is. And we're going to say continue. Then we want to save it as a cut image. And there it is. So I'm going to select it and then insert images. And here we go. So it's really, really big right now, so a little too big to work with. So we've got it selected, and I'm going to go ahead and just change that so it's easier to work with on the screen. Okay, so what I want to do is, because this is a engraving, we're going to do engraving, we want it to engrave more than once because it'll just go a little bit deeper each time. And so what we're going to do is we're going to select this, and then we're going to come up here and we're going to duplicate it maybe 3 times. Okay, so now we have 3 of them, so let's select all of those so it's all grayed here, and then come up to a line and come down to center, and that's going to stack them, so 1, 2, 3, 4 on top of each other. So then we're going to come here to the line type that says cut and do engrave. And so now if you look over to the side, each pumpkin says engrave. So we're going to come ahead down here to the bottom and do attach. So now they're all together and they're perfectly aligned, which is kind of awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to maybe pull this off to the side just a little bit. And now I like the pumpkin, but I want something to go with it. So, oops. So what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and add some text. So I'm going to type thankful. There we go. And I don't want the Cricut Sans, I want one of my fonts. So I have some fonts that I downloaded onto my system. And those are all fonts that I mostly picked up at Hungry JPEG, and they're big. They have a monthly bundle where it's just like, 500 fonts for 20 bucks. So I've picked that up a couple times. And there's the benefit of that is they always have a commercial license, which I think is kind of awesome. So I think that I was thinking the Reba was kind of nice. So it says search fonts. Maybe I'll go ahead and search fonts. And there it is. And we've got it right here. So I thought that was kind of fun, and it's kind of, it's a little bit modern without being too modern. So I'm going to group those. So what happened now is that each letter is individual. So I can go ahead and I can move those together. If I want to get funky and kind of pull one letter down and make one letter bigger, I think that thankful would be big, or the T. And then we'll come over here with this one. And maybe make that a little smaller. So it's an easy way to kind of do a little bit of design. So I think that looks pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and actually let's look here like that. And then we're going to have the pumpkin right here. So I maybe still want this to be a little bit. Actually, I think that T, if it was a little longer. So I unlocked it and I'm going to lock it again. I'm going to see what we think. Okay. So we've got thankful and we've got it the way we want it. So now we can go ahead and we can weld it. So now again, we have just the one here. And if we looked at it, if we click, well, actually we can't do that, but if we go to change it to engrave, now if you look here, you can see that they're all connected. There's no just overlapping letters that are singular. They're all one thing now, which is kind of awesome. So we've got thankful, and I think again, we're gonna wanna, maybe do it several times. Cut. So we're gonna go ahead and do that one. Let's see, 4 times 2. So we're just repeating that same process. And we're gonna center it. And we're gonna attach. Okay, so now we have our 2 designs, but we need to size them. So let's see, that'll look cute, right? That'll look really cute. Maybe a little more like that. Okay, so I don't actually need to align them perfectly because what we can do again is use that handy align tool. So I'm going to come up here though and get a template. So the servers are very triangular. So rather than try to trace a template and then get it, uploaded into here, we can just go ahead and use a triangle shape. So for my engraving spoons, I actually created a template. But yeah, like I said with this one, we don't need to. We want it to be, 2 inches wide. So I'm just gonna come up here, 2 width, and then 4 height. Because I measured my server and that's about the space that I'm gonna be working with. So we've got it right here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide kind of adjust these to about the size we want. And we're going to send this, so up here on our range it says send to back, so now we can actually see our images. So that, actually we're going to move this and we're going to get this the way we wanted it. And then we're going to select them both and we're going to take this little turn thing and we're going to put it upside down. So the reason that we're going to be doing it upside down is because when we engrave, the handle of the server is going to be sticking up. And so we don't want it to go handle first into the Cricut. We want it to go with just the flat part that it's going to engrave. So we're actually going to tape the server to the very edge of our mat. So that's why we're doing everything kind of upside down here. Okay, so now again, what I can do is highlight everything, then come up to the align and then align center horizontally. So now everything is perfectly aligned with that. So now what I'm going to do is go to, actually, you know what we want to do? We want to, sorry guys, we want to actually connect these now. So I'm going to attach them and then I'm going to look and say, yep, that's exactly what we want. So now we're going to go to make it. So what they did is they put the triangle on a different mat than the thankful. So we want them on the same mat because we're going to be using that template and then we're going to be hiding it. So we're going to say move to another mat. We're going to put it on this one. So Cricut didn't do that originally because we're working with a cut file and an engraving file. What they don't know is that we're going to get tricky and not cut the one. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it right where I'm going to put it on my Cricut mat. So I'm going to move this down here and kind of center it again like we had it. Okay, so that's looking pretty darn good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and I'm going to show you guys how I'm attaching it to the mat. Okay, so what I'm going to do is grab the tape, and I'm just using regular masking tape, and I'm going to tape this down. I'm going to tape it down right at the 6. So right at the 6, going down the middle, and then I'm going to do it up just a little bit. And I just want that right down the center like that. And then we're going to press down onto the mat. We're using the strong grip mat, which is this purple one. And we're going to go ahead and tape every edge down. But we're going to leave open that area in the center where we're going to be engraving. I'm just double checking. So I think right now, so I want it to be at the part here that's the, so we're going to have it at this 11-inch line. Actually, I could tape the end down more because we're not actually engraving down there. And then we want the tape down smooth too. Okay, so we do want to start engraving more at the 11-inch. So I'm going to come up here and move my design and my template. So the template I've actually got more like this. So if you look at the metrics, so it's going to be right in between that 1 and the 2 on the side here. So that's where it is. So the reason this is so important is because the size of my thankful needs to be so that the pumpkin's still on it. So I want it right like that. So let's click it off and look that it's even. It's over a little bit. Now it looks really good. So now I'm going to go ahead and highlight that triangle and put hide selected. So now Cricut is going to pretend it's not even there. Just kind of neat. So we're going to double check that it says engrave. Going to double check the position on our mat. So it's going to start at the 11. That looks good. Okay, we're going to try it. So we're going to do continue. So I love how Cricut kind of walks you through all these steps now. So it says set material, and I've already got stainless steel set as a favorite. So now it's telling me that I can go ahead and load my mat. Okay, and then where it says load Engrave Tip, we've got that. And now it knows the mat's loaded, and it's telling me to press this blinking button. Okay, so I'm going to speed this part up, but basically it's not going to pull the end of it in, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to engrave, but it's going to engrave multiple times because we duplicated it so often. So it's going to take a little bit of time. So I will show you guys when it's done. Okay, so it's all done engraving. So I'm going to, it says 100% unload mat. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that, and it looks really good. So I'm going to unload my mat. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip this upside down, and I'm going to peel off some of that. Actually, it's one time where you maybe don't need to flip it upside down. Just peel it off. And then I'm using my tape, and I'm going to go ahead and just pick up some of those metal shavings that were kind of dispersed or cut when they were when we did the engraving. But I think you can see that that looks really, really good. So it isn't super dark and we're not going to darken it, but this is kind of your typical engraved look. And we don't want to put any darkening enamel in this because it's going to be food safe, or we want it to be food safe. So yeah, I think that we're looking good here. Thanks for watching this tutorial. And if you found it helpful, please like, comment, or subscribe below. And for more tutorials like this, visit wellcraftedstudio.com.